People often ask me, what's the difference between a Belgian Malinois and a German Shepherd? If you're looking for a working dog, there's differences. If you're looking for a family dog, there's differences. And you can find individuals within both breeds that will suit what it is that you're looking for. In short, you're going to get generally more intensity with the Malinois, but you're also going to get more neurotic behavior, and they've actually done, studies on Belgian Malinois, and they've studied their genetic makeup, and they've found that there's a gene in all Belgian Malinois that work well, and it's a gene for neurotic behavior. Now that gene does not exist apparently in the show dogs. Yes, I know, it's unbelievable to me too, but there are some people that actually breed these dogs for show. So they're no good for work, and they're not really a real Belgian Malinois, but they look pretty. They tend to be shy and a little bit insecure, and they're just not good family dogs and definitely useless for work, so I would never recommend those dogs. Suffice to say, Malinois are more intense and they're more sensitive. So they're less forgiving of training mistakes. So whether you're looking for your next police canine or you're looking for your next competition dog, you better know what you're doing if you're going to get a Malinois. On the back end, if you know what you're doing and you're able to put a good foundation on the dog, the work that the dog puts out is phenomenal. And that's why people love them. And also they're really fast to train, and they're really smart. And once you get them pointed in the right direction, generally the payoff is huge. The German Shepherd, more forgiving. That means you can be a ham-handed handler. They're less likely to come up the leash at you. If you don't know what you're doing and you make some mistakes. They're less sensitive. But a lot of German Shepherds, especially the working ones, do have some neurotic tendencies, but it's not to the same degree as the Malinois. Anyways, personal preference-wise, I've had powerful Malinois and I've had powerful German Shepherds, and a good dog is a good dog. But for me, I like the German Shepherds more. I think they just have a little bit more stability. That being said, I always will have a Malinois 3 here because I like the breed. The Malinois, uber responsive to pressure, to reward, to everything. They're uber responsive to stimulus. Needless to say, you can end up getting bit. You can end up teaching the wrong thing. You can end up giving the dog an irrational fear of something or an irrational desire to do something if you don't know what you're doing. Again, the German Shepherd's a little bit more stable, a little bit more balanced. Hey, Gage, she's done with that, so don't do it anymore. There comes a time, when they're wrestling that they've had enough. And that's the mistake a lot of people make. Like, these are a male and a female, so I'm not so worried about it. I'm not worried that they're really going to fight. Like, when she gets older, she'll probably just kind of push him around and he'll take it. I can't tell you the amount of times I've seen males kind of take a beating willingly from a small female, especially the kind of male that would never take that from a male. Like, every male I've had has been like that. So I'm not too worried about that. So anyways, from a working perspective, give me a good quality German Shepherd. That being said, there's a lot of German Shepherds that have drive and intensity issues, and they lack sustained drive. And sustained drive is not just what will he do right now, it's what will he do for the hope of something in the future. And if you train a Malinois, you realize that it's a lot faster for them to develop that belief that there may be a reward down the road, and they're willing to work a lot harder for a lot longer generally for that reward. Whereas the German Shepherd, he's kind of like, if you don't build that into him properly, a lot of the time you'll have sustained drive issues where the dog kind of goes out of drive a little bit, and maybe he's a little bit slower to get there and a little bit less responsive to the commands. Now again, I want you to keep in mind, this is all generalities. There are individuals within the breed that are exceptions to these general rules, and I've seen a lot of them. I'm giving generalities so people can make an informed decision. So do Malinois make good house pets? Hell no. Not unless you get a professionally trained dog by someone that knows what they're doing and is selecting a dog. The other thing with Malinois is be careful. Ever since they've started appearing in a lot of movies and pictures, you see a lot of them now, and to be quite frank, most people that breed them have no freaking clue what they're doing, and they're breeding nervy, fear-aggressive, anxious dogs that are just messes, and it's not something that you would ever want to live with. Now, the German Shepherds, it's the same thing. People are like, oh, I got a German Shepherd. He can do this, that, and everything else, and apparently his father was a police canine, and all sorts of nonsense, right? The German Shepherds have just as many bad breeders producing them. So anyways, that's a little blurb on Belgian Malinois and German Shepherds. If you're new to the working dog world, get yourself a nice German Shepherd. There's more to it, as with everything. There's an enormous amount of complexity and nuance, but I think I covered everything.